Paris in the autumn week 2 of Roland-Garros, sunshine and some heavy showers, and some of the best in the business vying for their spot in the quarterfinals. Welcome to Live at Roland-Garros. It is a Monday night, and here for you is what we have for you on tonight's show. It's Grand Slam quarterfinal 47 for the world #1. It's the first Roland-Garros last 8 place for Tsitsipas. And Kvitova is back in the top 10 with round of 16 win. We're here with you every night, rain or shine, from 7 o'clock, and I'm very happy to be joined this evening in the studio by Fabrice Santoro. Good evening, Fabrice.
Good evening. Bonsoir, Gigi.
Bonsoir, Fabrice. You have a new mixed doubles partner for this evening. I hope you don't mind.
I'm very happy about it.
And you're getting a little bit wet because the weather hasn't been so kind to us today.
Tough day here in Roland-Garros. Very good matches, but the forecast is pretty tough for the tournament.
Let me ask you, as a player, you go into the second week, singles or doubles. Do you feel more relaxed about everything, or do you feel more pressurized about everything?
Well, you know that after 1 week in Roland-Garros, you know exactly the situation, you know the condition, you know how good is your game or what you have to keep working. You know if physically you are 100% or if you play too many long matches. And also you know more or less if you're in a position to win the title. And a couple of players played some really good tennis the last few days.
Yeah, no, it's been some incredible matches. Now, every evening we have our moment of the day. Some are very obvious, some concern the weather. This one for me is a very painful moment of the day.
Let's have a look.
Grigor Dimitrov is a very flexible individual, but he really did take things to Fabrice the extreme. Would you not agree?
Oh, look at this picture.
I don't want to.
No, I can do the same. I'd probably stay on the ground. But Grigor is one of the best athletes on the tour. I mean, because he's powerful. He can play 5 hours. He's fast and very flexible. Probably two very flexible players on the tour are Grigor and Novak Djokovic.
So you never did that, not even by accident on the clay? I'm not saying you tried to do it.
No, because it would be a real accident.
It would be it'd be very difficult. I think, like you, I'd need to be sort of lifted up and carried off.
Yes.
But it's the way they recover. They can continue on in a point from that position.
Yes, he can. I mean, Serena Williams also is very impressive. She's able to do exactly the same. But not many players can do it.
Now we have one court in action. It's actually raining on us, quite literally, here in the studio. So, Ile, you're very lucky this evening because you're under a roof on Philippe Chatrier.
I am. I'm lucky every evening because I get to be here courtside, which is best seat in the house, aside from the umpire's seat. It's Sofia Kenin against Fiona Ferro here on court Philippe Chatrier. It's the number 6 in the world, Sofia Kenin, against number 49 in the world, Fiona Ferro from France. Hence, a packed Philippe Chatrier, as packed as can be, of course, considering the conditions. It started very well for Sofia Kenin. She went up, took a 2-0 lead very quickly. And the way it was going, you thought, okay, this women's French Cinderella story, even though Fiona is not Gaston's low ranking, is going to come to an end. But Fiona came back 2-2 and turned it around and actually is now up 3-2. Sofia Kenin showing some signs of she gets frustrated. She called the ref down to check 2 marks, one of which was clearly in. The crowd did not like that, so she has the crowd going against her. I'm telling you, Fiona Ferro not out of this one yet. Far from it, in fact. And I have a question for Fabrice, a little technical question. Fabrice, have you ever seen Sofia Kenin serve her ball toss? The strangest thing, she throws the ball up and then looks up. Can you explain how that is possible? Because I play tennis at my little level. If I do that, the ball goes out of the court.
And at my level, I think I will do the same as you, Ellie. I don't know how you can do it, actually. I guess she's used to for so many years. But it looks very, very difficult to just throw the ball and then look up. I don't know if it's possible.
No, it's incredible, isn't it? Now, I'm hearing, incredibly, that the players are making their way out onto Susan Long. It's incredible because it's actually raining on Fabrice and I in the studio. We are by Philippe Chatrier, so we are away from Susan Long. But it is a great sight. We have players on court. We should shortly have tennis outdoors.
They're going to try, actually. I mean, the forecast is not that good, but if both players are on court Susan Long Lane, that means that maybe the provision for the next 2 hours are a bit better.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to keep an eye on Jabeur against Danielle Collins. Jabeur, who defeated the 8th seed Arina Sabalenka, and Danielle Collins got the scalp of many people's dark horse in Garbine Muguruza. And we keep saying this, Fabrice, but what an opportunity for these players to go deep, to get to a quarter-final of a Grand Slam.
Yes, even if there's nobody on court, Suzanne Langlais, and even if it's raining, it's a round of 16 in a Grand Slam, which is such a big moment for those players. Not many players are able to play so many quarterfinals like Rafael Nadal or Novak Djokovic. So for these two girls, it's a real opportunity.
Yeah, their numbers are crazy. Now, our match of the day today is a match that you were actually commentating on, Stefanos Tsitsipas against Grigor Dimitrov. It's a beautiful style of play in terms of the background and how they move around the court. What were your thoughts on this contest as it unfolded?
It's like a mirror, when they were playing, because both players can do almost every shot on a tennis court. They move well. They are very aggressive and good in that when they are inside the court, but also if they have to defend, they are pretty strong, very athletic. And at the end of the day, victory of Tsitsipas came only for one reason, I think, is because he was just stronger on the big moments.
It's interesting. He got to the final in Hamburg. Andrei Rublev won Hamburg. Rublev, we'll see later, also made it through today. People were wondering how they would recover because the turnaround time was so short. And after his first ever 5-set match in the first round, Stefanos Tsitsipas, he's just been getting stronger and stronger through the rounds.
Yes, just a good way to remember that Stefanos lost the first 2 sets here in Roland-Garros, and then he found the rhythm, qualified for the second round, and he's playing his best tennis since a couple of days. It's going to be interesting to see in Paris the revenge of Hamburg final.
It absolutely will be. With Dimitrov, it felt like it took him a little bit of time to settle, but it was so important for this match to go deeper that he would win this second set.
Yes, I really thought he's gonna make it because he had a couple of opportunities, and also, I mean, it's for me as a tennis fan, I'm always happy when Grigor is playing well, when Grigor is winning, because he's such a nice player to watch and a beautiful person out of the court.
Stefanos Tsitsipas looking for a first Roland-Garros quarterfinal, a second career quarterfinal at Grand Slam player, and to be the first Greek player in history to reach the quarterfinals of Roland-Garros. 22 years of age. We forget these players, some of these players, Dimitrov at 29, but some of these players, like a Zverev, like a Tsitsipas, like an Andrei Rublev, they're still so young. He's just 22 years of age, Tsitsipas.
Very young, but so good. And if we look at what Tsitsipas did already on the tour, it's very impressive. He beat some of the top guys. I remember I was in Melbourne 2 years ago when he beat Roger Federer. It was an awesome performance, a great match. And I don't know when, but I can tell you that Tsitsipas will win a Grand Slam. And I mean, many Grand Slams in the future.
Yeah, that was incredible, that match. He really rode the momentum of winning the second set to get the early break in the third and to come through. Delight from his camp. Patrick Mouratoglou, his dad, Apostolos, those masks with his face on. He said he's bought a batch of 30 and they are in demand. But what delight. He was able to get through in straight sets, book his place in the quarterfinals. And here for you, Stefanos Tsitsipas, post-match on court.
We have a similar style of play, so I tried, I knew that if I can be as aggressive as possible and play with my forehand, use my serve to create opportunities, they eventually are going to come. And that was a very good, high quality of tennis from both of us. I managed to, I think, stay concentrated and press on my return games. I did have a lot of break points, which I don't think the ratio was very good, but I still managed to break him a couple of times. And my aggressivity from the return games and my focus on every single point at the end, it rewarded me.
A relieved Stefanos Tsitsipas. Now let's get stuck into the rest of the match highlights that we have. You remember, there are still matches to be completed and there are still matches to start. But we will begin with world number 1 Novak Djokovic and all the talk. Djokovic top half of the draw, Team Nadal in the bottom. How for you is Novak Djokovic looking?
Great. From the first point he played here in Roland-Garros, he found the rhythm, he loved the condition, he loved the balls. Heavy courts are not a problem for him. And today was a serious contest for Novak Djokovic. And Karen Khachanov played his match. He was very solid, but not good enough to win at least a set.
And it's good to have these serious tests. No, they don't want to be out there for 7 hours, but they want to be tested.
Exactly. I mean, it's very important for Djokovic to see that before to be maybe in the last, I don't know, last 8 or last 4, even maybe a final in Roland-Garros to be tested. And Karen Khachanov played a very good match. He broke Novak in certain occasion, end of the first, beginning of the third. But even playing good, it was not good enough today.
His consistency, Novak Djokovic, is frighteningly good.
He's good everywhere. Very athletic, very focused. He can put the ball anywhere he wants. He used so many drop shots since the beginning of the tournament because of the humidity on the court here in Paris, and he's number one, and he's fantastic to watch. It's fantastic to see him on the court. Next match could be an interesting one because he may play Pablo Carreño Busta. And that looks like a revenge of US Open.
12 sets from 12, Novak Djokovic, his 72nd Roland-Garros match win, his 47th Grand Slam quarterfinal, his 11th consecutive Roland-Garros quarterfinal. The numbers continue. Someone else, Fabrice, who is yet to drop a set is Petra Kvitova.
She played right-hand player, lefty players. She played outdoor. She played with the roof. And Petra looks great. I mean, she's playing some very good tennis. We know how difficult it was for Petra to come back to the top level, and she's such a nice person also, and happy to see Petra in the quarterfinal.
And she's able to hit through the balls in these conditions, which not all players can.
Not many players can hit so many winners, but she has the power, she serves well. She's also a lefty, which is a good advantage. And she finished the match on this call. 2 sets again.
Yeah, she looked quite emotional at the end. 2012 semi-final. She wasn't here last year because of injury. She won 27 matches now at Roland-Garros. She has lost 10. And the big news from this is she is back in the top 10. This win took her to number 9 in the world.
It means a lot to her. That's why she was so emotional after the match point. When I came on the court to make the interview, I saw in her eyes a lot of emotion.
Yeah, you just saw a picture of her coach, Yuri Vanek. To Andrei Rublev against Marton Fucsovics. This is the match that set up that Hamburg repeat of the recent final with Andrei Rublev. I would say he's quietly going about his business, but the way he clubs that forehand, everyone can hear it.
Rublev is very impressive. I mean, he's hitting the ball 100% almost every time, and he serves well. This is also a kind of player who can play for 4 or 5 hours, no problem at all. I mean, he has a lot of confidence, and it's going to be an interesting match in the quarterfinal.
It's incredible. He broke into the top 20 for the first time in January. He's here as the 13th seed. This win puts him at number 9 in the live rankings. He's a top 10 player.
And he deserved to be there. He had a physical issue in the past where he dropped down quite a lot in the ranking, but it's not a surprise to see Andrei now in the top 10.
Yeah, a stress fracture in his lower back, and then he had wrist problems, which is why this is only his second appearance at Roland-Garros, but he's in the quarterfinals. It's his third Grand Slam quarterfinals. He won the Hamburg title, 3 titles this year. And another of these matches, a golden opportunity for one of these players to reach a Grand Slam quarterfinal, Fabrice.
2 players we didn't expect to be in the round of 16, so of course, a real opportunity for both players to be in the quarter of the French. And was a match played on the court Simone Mathieu.
And Laura Sigmund, she only won her first main draw match at Roland-Garros last year. She's 32 years of age. She's a late bloomer, but we are seeing more of that. Players really coming into their own later in their career.
It's a different year. It's different courts in Paris at a different period of the year. So you have to adapt your game. You have to be able to play with the condition. Very cold and humid, and she did it well since the beginning of the tournament.
First Grand Slam quarter-final for Laura Sigmund. She came in at 66 in the world live ranking. She's up to 48. You can financially benefit from Grand Slam runs, and also you can change your life by going up that rankings. It opens so many doors. Now, I was quite surprised that they walked out onto court, Daniel Collins and Ons Jabeur, as we are sitting here just being rained on. And I've just been told, Fabrice, that the courts are back on. They tried to make it work, but it didn't last that long.
It was just a quick warm-up.
It was a quick warm-up.
And I don't know what the decision of the tournament will be in the next 30 minutes to play the next match on court Philippe Chatrier, because there is also one men's singles to play between Altmaier, the German qualifier, and Pablo Carreño Busta.
We have the roof.
We have the roof.
So we're going to be okay.
But I don't know if they're going to play until midnight or 1 in the morning.
Oh.
Could be a long night.
Well, we'll have to say, just don't forget, you can keep an eye on the app, the website, and Radio Roland-Garros, because we'll stay with you until the action ends. It's time now, though, to see what has got social media talking. Okay, then, Alex, I've stopped asking for Eiffel Tower shots. I believe they've been banned. So what do you have for us this evening?
Yes, thank you, Gigi. The ban is still in force, but maybe it'll come. Maybe the Eiffel Tower will come back in tomorrow. Let's see what I can do. But yeah, hello and good evening, everyone. It could be a pretty late one tonight, as you've just pointed out. But here's what's been served up on social media so far. First up, let's quickly rewind to last night. Soon after I dashed off, Chelsea fan Dominic Thiem showed us some pretty awesome football skills, tweeting, "After a ton of drop shots, I had to show Hugo Gaston that I got some good touch. Great match, keep it up." It certainly was a great match, Domi. Now, as Fabrice pointed out as well, Petra Kvitova, one of the most popular players on the tour, was very emotional having moved into the last 8, tweeting here, "To be back into the quarterfinals at Roland-Garros after making my comeback here 3 years ago, I have so many emotions going through my head, but for now, I will just keep on fighting." She also posted on her Instagram stories, "My tears today were happy tears, remembering that day and that people that stood beside me." So there's a heartwarming story that we all need in this gloomy day in Paris. And finally, Andrei Rublev roared into the quarterfinals for a rematch of that Hamburg final from just a week ago against Stefanos Tsitsipas. His 2020 of 29 wins and 3 titles is causing quite a stir on social media. Is he a bit of a dark horse for the title? So in the studio, are you team Rublev or are you team Tsitsipas? All yours, Gigi.
Oh, thank you very much, Alex. This is a tough one. I tipped Rublev to go to the quarterfinals because that's all I was asked to do, a dark horse for the quarterfinals. Who for you is getting through that into the semi-finals? That's a great question.
I pick up Tsitsipas.
Because what reason for? He won the Hamburg title, Rublev, so why does Tsitsipas get the edge here?
In Hamburg, they played at the same level because Tsitsipas served for the match in the final, so they are very close to each other. Recently, Tsitsipas is playing some unbelievable tennis, but he lost some matches he should have won. US Open and Hamburg. So I think it's a good it's his moment now.
Okay, it's a good omen for Tsitsipas. So Fabrice is going for Stefanos Tsitsipas, and I'll go for Andrei Rublev just to be different.
Sure.
Just to be a little bit different.
You have a chance. You have a good chance.
I have a good chance. I have 50-50. There is some action taking place because we have the roof. It's on Philippe Chatrier. There is a French player in action, as there was this time last night. And watching on, not going anywhere for the foreseeable future, is Eli. How are things going?
Things are going pretty good if you're on team Ferro, as she just literally this second won the first set 6-2. She started off by losing 2-love, and now it's 6-2 for her. So do the math, pretty simple. She just walked all over Sofia Kenin in this first set, and she is putting on a display of perfect tennis, of coolness. I mean, she has what Hugo Gaston, both of them share that, I find, that they show very little emotions. They stay very cool, very relaxed. Doesn't mean that inside here things are going a bit crazy, but don't show anything. Don't show your... On the other hand, Sofia Kenin showing a lot of signs of being nervous. In fact, she's leaving the court now. Her racket suffered, got hit a few times on the ground. She actually also has a bandage on her inner left thigh. I don't know if that has to do with anything. And just an end is that Fiona Ferro is now working with Emmanuel Planck. She's been working him for a little while. He's the former coach of Luc Capouille and also the former coach of Fabrice Santoro. So yeah, that was a perfect pass back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Eli. You felt like you wanted to come in and say something when he was talking about the emotions and keeping them within.
Yes, the emotion of Fiona looks very, very calm and cool on the court, and also like a comparison between this match and Hugo Gaston yesterday against Dominic Thiem. I think both French players cannot play the same kind of game from the baseline, so they have to mix it up, and that's what Fiona did pretty well today.
And hopefully we'll be back with Eli once more before the end of the show. Time now, though, for our question of the day. So here it is. Should tennis players be on social media more or less during the tournament? I imagine there are parents out there, Fabrice, wanting their children to get off social media. So where do you stand on this?
I'm not a manager of a player, but every manager will say to the player, you have to go on social media.
You have to go?
Yes, because it's important to be close to the fan, to promote all the different sponsors and to make some like a promotion for the sport and for themselves, for their image. So at one point, it's positive until one point, and then it can become very negative if you stay too long.
But then your coach, so your manager's going, get on social media and promote you. Your coach is saying, well, hang on a second, back off, because all you should be doing right now is focusing on your match.
You're right. I don't think on the social media, the coach and the manager will agree. Because once the coach wants to win and to play well on the court, and the manager wants to get some more sponsor and fans. So it's a big deal between both.
So what kind of social media did we have when you were playing? I'm not saying you're old. I'm just. The other day you said you didn't have a telephone, so I'm
when
just
I started,
wondering.
yeah, no telephone.
And towards the end, what was coming in? What was there? And did you like it? Because you're on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
At the end of my career, 2010 was Facebook.
Okay.
I don't think Instagram exists yet.
Wow, okay.
2010, we have to check.
So you weren't really someone on their phone constantly checking things?
No, not at all. I'm actually a bit more on Instagram since 1 or 2 years maximum.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. So we think the manager would be on one side, the coach would be on the other side. We've actually managed to put this question to a couple of players today. So let's have listeners to what they think. More or less social media during a tournament.
Well, I'm not really person who is more on the social media, so for me less is better. But I know it's important on the other side, kind of to show fans what we are doing and what we are not doing. But especially in the tournament, I mean, I don't have those thoughts to think what I gonna take the pictures or make the video or what I gonna post there. I mean, I don't have anything to post. I mean, I'm just playing tennis, and then in the room I'm watching the TVs, but it's nobody cares. So I already make the Eiffel Tower picture, so I think I'm done for this tournament. So I'm just I don't know, trying. I'm really glad that we have pictures from the matches. Yeah, that's really important, so I can post something. And no, but anyway, I'm not really thinking too much about the social media. So yeah.
Social media is important. Obviously, it's your brand. You can't really avoid that. It is your brand, and you're someone who can influence people through social media. The only thing is that you have to do it the right way and not overuse the platform. There are some debates about social media, as you said, and I think when you spend countless hours per day scrolling through your social media, of course, it's not healthy for you and for your mental health as well. And for me, it has been the case in plenty of times, and especially during quarantine. I found myself using a lot social media, which is not as pleasant of an experience as people think it is. You just have to use everything with regulation and not overdo things. I think that's the basic rule of life.
I think Tsitsipas was a great person to have speaking about that. He has multiple Instagram accounts, one for his photography. He's on Instagram. He's spoken publicly about how he stepped away from it. And the point he highlighted there, it can be nasty. It can be vicious. You imagine you're a tennis player, you lose matches, and the stuff that gets said about them, I mean, that's hurtful.
Yeah, and also everybody can access to your Instagram account and communicate with you, send you a message, and then maybe if it's a bad one, you want to react. And because in this new world, everybody can talk to everybody, more or less. But what I want to say once again is, so coach is on one side, the manager is on the opposite side, but at the end the player decides because the player employs both.
Yeah, so they have the final say. Well, the final say this evening is going to be the people who have been voting. I'm not quite sure which way you came down on, but let's have a look at the poll results. So they've gone more. They want them on more. I don't know which way you went, but we decided we'd make up the result. And oh, look, Daniela won, and she's not here.
First set. Let's play second
Incredible.
set.
That's incredible. She's not here, and she won. That's amazing. And we will have another question for you on tomorrow's show. We'll try and get that recorded at the end of tonight's show. So, as you've probably seen by now, Daniela is not with us in the studio this evening, but she has been busy, and she's been speaking to a young man who has a bright future.
Sebastian, well done for an amazing tournament. How did it feel out there playing against Rafa?
Yeah, unbelievable moment in my career, and super grateful. Yeah, but an awesome experience. And I don't know. After the match, I asked him for a signed shirt. So I don't know if anyone's ever asked him for an autograph after he just beat somebody. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm super grateful, and the experience was unbelievable.
At what point during the match you were actually able to relax and start playing your game? Because it's never easy, as we know, playing your idol.
I think from the beginning I was pretty relaxed. The conditions were super tough today. It was super windy, and all the shadows were a bit tough to play in. But yeah, no, I felt comfortable out there, and I mean every single game was pretty tight, and I had a lot of chances.
Looking back at this year Roland-Garros, what was your favorite moment of your tournament?
For sure, seeing Nadal at the coin toss, that's for sure. But yeah, no, I've had a lot of awesome experiences here these past 3 weeks, and I'm just super grateful to be here.
Okay, so tell us about the bet, because I was trying to explain it in the studio what it means, because it is not easy, first of all, to jump from that bridge, and it's going to be super cold. Are you going to do it as well?
No, they don't have to jump from the bridge. They just have to swim across. But it's super cold in Prague right now, so. It's gonna be awesome.
When did the idea come in?
We were at dinner on the water, and I don't know. I was just looking outside, and I said, you know, if I qualify and make the third round, then you guys have to jump in or swim across. So we all agreed to it, and now it became a reality. So it's gonna be awesome. You know?
Hey Seb, know that we're supporting you from afar and that we love you. And Christmas is coming up real soon, and we enjoy the finer things in life. So let's go.
Tell us what it is in your family, and mainly what values you believe that makes you one of the most successful families we have in sports.
Yeah, I think we're all just super close, and we're all really supportive of each other. I mean, my parents growing up, they always said, whatever you guys want to do, we'll support you 100%, and we'll always back you up. And yeah, just always having the support and the dedication from both of our parents was a really big help for us. And yeah, we're just super grateful to have him.
How impressed have you been with Sebastian Korda?
I was on court Philippe Chatrier yesterday when he played against Rafa. I like the noise when he hit the ball. It's a very, very good noise. He hit the ball very clean. I like also his spirit. And it's a sports family. I mean, everybody. I mean, his dad was a fantastic champion. Mother also. Sister plays golf, and I'm sure he's going to have a brilliant career, because every time, even if he grows up very quickly, parents will be here around him to make him very humble.
Yeah, that's very important. They've experienced success. His dad, especially now, his sisters in golf. So they're all very much united in this sport. Very
united, and it's you know, when so many things happen at a young age, you need your parents, you need your family to understand what's going on, and he has the best parent for that. Yeah, he certainly does. Right, we do have time on the show to head back under the roof on Philippe Chatrier. It was first set to Fiona Ferro of France. Eli, I've been trying to kind of judge the noises so far in set two. That's definitely a point for Ferro just there. How are things looking start of set two?
Yeah, well, she got broken and just broke back. It's 1-1 beginning of the second set. Looks pretty much like the first set. I think that the racket of Sofia Kenin has minutes to live. If things continue this way, it will get smashed. She will get a code. Things are looking good for Fiona Ferro. The crowd is cheering her on. That's definitely an advantage for the French girl. She's playing at home. And I just want to end this one by saying that I think Fabrice, for a guy who played doubles with René Lacoste in Davis Cup, answered really well on the social media question.
Thank you very much, Eli. It's always a pleasure.
I like that, Eli. Thank you.
I think it was interesting that Sophia Kenin said, I really miss the crowd. I love them to be out cheering for me. Now she's pretty much got 1,000 in there who are cheering for her opponent. So it's be careful what you wish for.
Yes, it's not a good day to ask for the support of the crowd.
When you're playing a French... Tomorrow, we're waiting for the schedule to be confirmed. I guess they're waiting to see if there will be any more play and how they juggle the matches. But we do know in terms of matches, the two men's matches, it's going to be Rafa Nadal against Jannik Sinner. He's 19 years of age. A lot of people talking about him. He came through against under the weather, Sasha Zverev, but that is an intriguing matchup in itself.
It's going to be a great match. Jannik Sinner, on my point of view, will be top 10 quickly because he's so talented. Also a good spirit, very good coach, Riccardo Piatti. He loves the game. He has everything in his game already, so he's going to be a huge champion.
How long is Dominic Thiem Diego Schwartzman going to go on for?
Whoa, that's a good question too. First of all, I don't know if Dominic will be 100% fit physically, because when he came to Paris, he said, "Oh, I'm a little bit tired physically and mentally." And after the battle yesterday, it's a real issue for him.
And Schwartzman with the confidence of beating Nadal in Rome and then getting to his first Masters final, it was on the clay, and he's brought that confidence into Roland-Garros.
And I don't think, on my point of view, Dominic Thiem is not favorite of this match. If you asked me the question a week ago, I would say Dominic will win. Now, I think Diego has a very, very good chance.
And then in the top half of the women's draw, it's such an opportunity. You touched on Alina Svitolina as the only seed in there. She plays Nadia Podoroska, the qualifier. Then we have Iga Swiatek, who destroyed Simona Halep, taking on this wonderful story of the Italian Martina, the qualifier Trevisan.
Nobody expects this tournament. I mean, at the beginning of the tournament, I gave 3 names: Halep, Azarenka, and Muguruza. They are all gone, so anything can happen now.
Fabrice, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your company. And maybe next time we're going to get you winning one of our questions of the day.
Yes, maybe. And I'm very happy that you didn't call me Daniela, because it's Daniela's
it was difficult, but I just kept focused on Fabrice.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for your company this evening. Don't forget, the action does continue under the roof on Philippe Chatrier. So the app, the website of Roland-Garros, and also Radio Roland-Garros will be with you with ball-by-ball commentary until the action ends this evening. And we'll be back with Live at Roland-Garros tomorrow at 7. Until then, bye for now.
À demain.